Where am I? Who brought me here?
I did.
Wingy Media. I'm from South Manchester. Oh, and the future. Your future me. I know where you're from. Sorry, it sounded cooler. Anyway, I need you to review Legends of Tomorrow Season 2 because if you don't, this is what YouTube will become. Oh my god. It's just Alfie Day's videos. This is something I can get behind. But why me? Why now? Because in the future, you're not just a YouTuber, you're a legend. Am I? No. But just do it anyway, because I'll lend you the DVD or something. Why can't you do it? Look, I just wanted to make a shitty reference to Legends of Tomorrow for this intro, so could you please just go and do it for me? Fine. That was really weird. Hey guys, it is Wingy here and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. Now if you couldn't have already guessed from that weird skit, the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be doing a review of Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. But first, a massive thank you is in order. When I first started doing this, my goal was to hit 100 subscribers before my birthday, and I've managed to do it. Thank you so much to everyone and anyone who has clicked that subscribe button. It does actually mean a lot. I know people say this all the time, but it genuinely does. 100 might not seem like a load, but to me, it's ridiculous. So thank you very much, and here's to the next 100. But getting back to today's video, like I said, I'm going to be doing a review of the second season of DC's Legends of Tomorrow. But first, I'm going to give you a bit of context because my channel isn't old enough, so I didn't do a review of Season 1. So I'm just going to briefly tell you what I thought of that so you know what to expect and what I will think of the show going into the second season. I really liked Season 1. I thought it was a nice breath of fresh air. I liked all the different characters for the most part, and it introduced us to some of the coolest things that the DC TV universe has seen thus far. Each week you were in a different location and a different time period, and I thought Vandal Savage was a really cool villain, and Rip Hunter is actually one of my favourite characters in the DC TV universe. I didn't like the Hawks, so I'm glad that they're gone, but other than that, it's a solid season of television. It is well worth a watch. Moving into Season 2 though, I was really excited. It isn't without its issues though, but first I will talk about the positives and the new things that are introduced in Season 2. First of all, new characters. Now, I was glad that they got rid of the Hawks, like I said before. I thought they were not only bad actors, but just really boring and just took away screen time from characters that I thought were far more interesting. But instead, this season, we get two new legends in the form of Nate and Amaya. Nate will go on to be Citizen Steel or Commander Steel, Captain Steel, I don't know which one, but he's something Steel anyway. He's really cool. He's actually one of my favourite characters on the show now. Considering he's a new character coming into an ensemble cast, he seems very fleshed out. There's definitely some emotional weight there that you see as the series progresses. The fact that he goes from someone who is easily damaged and can just bruise easily and is just completely weak and vulnerable to absolutely everything and anything. The fact that you see him as Steel, so he's basically just the DC Colossus. The fact that he does that is actually pretty cool. And I liked that episode later on in the season. I'll talk about them later, but with the Justice Society of America, you get to see individual episodes dedicated to each member. And the one with Nate's grandfather, really nice episode. You got to see Nate interact with his grandfather and his father as a child. It did really well in adding a lot more depth to Nate as a character. His introduction to the show though, weird. Random as hell. He somehow just knows about the legends and knows that Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow. It's really bizarre. I don't get why they did it. And for a couple of episodes you are wondering, why the fuck is this guy on the team? But then he gets his powers, then it makes sense. But before that, doesn't work for me. Then we also get Amaya, who is also a member of the Justice Society of America, and she is the grandmother to the Vixen that is already established in the Arrowverse. I believe originally they did want her, but she had other scheduled conflicts or something like that. I like this version of Vixen. I don't like the romance between her and Nate. That feels really forced. But obviously, as it is a CW show, there has to be some element of romance in there. Does it work for the show or the characters? Not particularly. Did I mind it though? Not that much, so I can let it slide. But yeah, new recruits, great. Now the other main thing from this season is the Legion of Doom. I'm really conflicted on the Legion of Doom from this season. So when I initially heard the lineup, I was a bit... I don't know, I didn't really care. I was like, oh great, we get to see more of the Reverse Flash. Like, who wouldn't want more Reverse Flash? And then I saw that we get Malcolm Merlyn as well. Yeah, he's fine. I like John Barrowman. Great. Damien Dark, he was shit in Arrow Season 4. Well, I wouldn't say he was shit, but what we got of him was shit because we barely got anything of Damien Dark. He was overshadowed by Oliver and Felicity, so we didn't really get a sense of what Damien Dark actually was about. And of course, later on during the season, we get Captain Cold again. It was great. It was nice seeing him as a villain again, and it was cool to have a team of heroes against a team of villains. But that's where my issue starts. It's just the way that they did it, I'm not too keen on. The Legion don't really work together as a team, and in the end, that is their eventual downfall. But at the same time, it does take away from having a Legion of Doom in the first place when they don't actually work with each other. Initially, it's basically Reverse Flash just telling Damien Dark and Malcolm Merlin, go and do this, go and do that, which is fine. Then eventually they have a revolt against him and say, look, we're all going to be equals on this. But they still never really feel like a team. And as I say, it does ultimately end in their downfall, which does work. I just wish that we got to see a group of people who were working together and scheming together on an equal level to fight against the Legends. I think that would have worked a lot better, and it would have felt a lot more satisfying when they were all defeated in the end. And the idea of the Spear of Destiny, I thought was okay. I didn't love it though. It just felt like a lot of the season was just characters saying to one another, we need to find the Spear of Destiny. We need to look for the Spear of Destiny. I know where there's a piece of the Spear of Destiny. Spear of Destiny. Spear of Destiny. That was all that was said throughout this season. And I don't really see why we needed some MacGuffin throughout this entire season. Instead of they have a goal, both the Legion and the Legends, to find this object, it would have been nice if they teamed up just to take down the Legends, not because there's something that they need to get. I mean, it is what it is and it works, I guess, but I just think it could have been a lot more, particularly from the Legion's point of view. For the Legends, yeah, find the spear, great, but I just don't like that the Legion teamed up for it. Maybe if you have them team up for the sake of it and then they learn about the Spear of Destiny, that could have worked a lot better. But the fact that that was their primary goal from the get-go, didn't like it that much. It's not an absolutely terrible thing, and I wouldn't say it massively takes away from the season, but it is worth mentioning. But that's not the only member of the Legion of Doom this year. Rip Hunter joins the Legion against his own will, and he's brainwashed, but he still does. Now, for context about Rip Hunter this season, again, I'm conflicted. Like I mentioned before, Rip is my favourite character on the entire show. So we get him for one episode, then he's gone, and then he's just gone until like the mid-season break. And you definitely feel the difference that Rip isn't there anymore. And this is where I'm conflicted, because is it good for the show that the team have to fend for themselves without Rip and his knowledge of time travel and the Wave Rider, etc.? Yes, it is good seeing the team fend for themselves, but I miss Rip. But then he's brainwashed by the Legion, and he becomes a member of the Legion of Doom, and he is just so great as a bad guy. One of my favourite moments this entire season has got to be when he kills Sarah, and I think it's Jefferson that says to him, you just killed Sarah, and he says something along the lines of, you act like that name had any meaning to me. And you think, oh, I don't know. See, I like evil Rip, but I also like good Rip as well, so it's really conflicting for me as a viewer. He's great though. Like, evil Rip was great. Obviously they go back and then he becomes good again, and I really like that episode. The episode where they go into Rip's mind to try and save him and bring him back to the good side. That was one of my favourite episodes of the season. I really like seeing Gideon as a proper human for once. It kind of reminded me of the Doctor's wife from Doctor Who, if you've seen that episode, which is a good thing, but it's also similar to the Doctor's wife. Never do it again. We've done it once. We don't need to see human Gideon again now, please. But then again, there's another problem. Rip came back, he's all good again, but the team, they can fend for themselves. They don't really need him anymore. So for the remainder of the season, Rip feels really redundant. I still think that Rip had more to offer. The fact that he leaves at the end of the season because, well, you just know what you're doing now. I don't know, I didn't really like that. I can't see Rip as a character ever walking away from the Wave Rider and Gideon. Talking of another surprising character that has soon become one of my favourites, Mick Rory. I think since his initial introduction on The Flash to where we are now, he is probably the most well-developed character out of pretty much all of the shows, with the exception of Barry and Oliver, and maybe Sarah. Mick has gone from just a bastard to a good bastard, I guess. I really like Mick in this season, and I love the conflict that he had as well when he saw Leonard Snart. And you kept seeing him throughout this season, having images and memories and flashbacks of him and Snart, and thinking, oh my god, have I gone soft? What is happening to me? Why am I seeing Leonard Snart? They were some of my favourite scenes in the show. And that moment where he actually helps the Legion, he has that option to help them. You think, Mick's gonna do it. I hope he doesn't, because that's gonna just ruin all of his character development. But he does, and you think, oh, Mick, why? You've grown so much. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But then again, it works for the best, and I don't necessarily mean for the Legends, but I mean for the show itself. Because with Mick doing that, that results in the Legends flat out losing. I didn't expect them to go that far in the second season, to have them just completely lose and have to win win again against the enemy. That again is something really refreshing in these CW shows. Obviously we see little victories and little losses here and there, but they full on lost. Like there was no hope level lost. And then Mick's character grows because he realizes, oh, I've made a mistake, haven't I? So he goes back and he helps the Legends regain their memory in this new timeline, and then the Legends go on and they win. You know they would, but I like that they threw in that curveball about the Legion actually winning. So the Justice Society of America, they popped up in this season. I mean, they're alright, you know, they didn't really do too much. I did want to see more of them, but like I said earlier, I do like that we did get individual episodes with each member to see how they reacted and how they changed after leaving the Justice Society. My favourite was definitely the Commander Steel episode. Like I said before, that was great, added depth to Nate's character, blah blah blah. But the others, they're just kind of forgettable. And that was the annoying thing. Like when you hear at the end of season 1, I'm Rex Tyler, I'm a member of the Justice Society of America, you think, oh cool, where's this gonna go then? Not very far. Yeah, it was just a bit of a letdown, but it was still nice to see them. It was still cool. I really enjoyed seeing Vixen as well before she joins the Legends, because obviously she thinks that they are the ones who've killed Rex Tyler. So that little rampage that she goes on the Wave Rider, awesome. So overall then, Legends season 2, I can't really decide where I stand on it. I definitely enjoyed it. I have said a lot of bad things, but I definitely did enjoy it. I just keep noticing things the more and more I think about it, where I think I could have improved it by that, I could have improved it by doing that, that could have changed, that could have changed, and I don't want to feel like that, but I do. Is it better than the first season? It is in some ways, yes, but in other ways, no. This season doesn't feel as personal as the last one did, but that isn't necessarily an issue because it is still personal in different episodes. It's just, here's the thing, we have to go get it, the bad guys want it as well. It's a real simplistic story, but it is still enjoyable television. There's some great new characters, some great character development for other characters as well. If you're a fan of the Reverse Flash, this season is awesome, and I like that it's the other actor, because we have seen him briefly pop up every now and again in the Flash, but typically people will associate the Harrison Wells version of the Reverse Flash with the Reverse Flash. I love where Black Flash comes into the vault, and I love seeing him stand off like Eobard is just stood there terrified. That was a really good standout moment, and it was great seeing Evil Rip Hunter. But the rest of the Legion, I can take them or leave them. However, I'm still very excited to see where season 3 goes. When they land and it's just Big Ben and dinosaurs in the middle of a city, it's just like, what the fuck have they done? And I'm also even more curious to see if anyone else joins the team. I know for me there's quite a few people that I would like to see join the team. I mean, Constantine is the obvious one, but then they'd have to go down the magical route, which I can't see them doing. Connor Hawke I think would be awesome to join the team. And depending on where he goes on the Flash, maybe Kid Flash or Jesse Quick. So for me then, if I have to give it a rating, because I do have a rating system which I will leave in the description because it is a weird one, I will give Legends of Tomorrow season 2 a good out of 10. I think there's definite improvements here and there, but it is overall still a really, really solid season yet again from Legends. And that is what I think of Legends season 2. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? On the fence about it? Don't care? Whatever it is, tell me what you think of season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it. And if you want to see more, as I will be doing Arrow, The Flash and Supergirl when they finish, as well as other DC and superhero related content on my channel, then make sure you subscribe, and if you do, I would love you forever. But until next time guys, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Oh my god. It's just Alfie Day's videos.
Good morning, guys.
Fuck off!